Hi guys, this is Klazart with audio commentary, and this is Game 3 of the Winners League Pro League matchup between SKT1 and Samsung Khan, and this is going to be Hades or By Great versus Best, and looks like the SKT1 coach has got tired of messing around and has thrown in the big guns, has decided to throw Best into this. This is going to be played on Coliseum. There's been a little bit of drama here before this. I actually started commentating the game, and we've had to have a double take because Best started off going for his gateway first. Best in white here. Best started off going for his gateway first as the match started, and the Zerg luckily scouted in the right direction. Looks like he's not going to scout in the right direction this time. Scouted in the right direction, and Best's gateway was found, and just as the Overlord came up to the gateway, Best dropped from the game. He seemed to lag out, or his computer froze or crashed or something, and the game had to be restarted, and we had a lengthy break in between, which is why I decided to cut all of that out and start right from this. But definite controversy there. Best probably didn't want his strat to be exposed that early, and I'm sure there are going to be eyebrows raised. But come on, he wouldn't have honestly done that. I'm sure it's a coincidence. So this is going to be interesting. What sort of strategy Best goes for this time around? Looks like he's building his pylon, and the Great starting. So the Great starting up, or Hades starting up at the bottom left-hand corner, playing Zerg in purple at the 7 o'clock position. Best at the 11 o'clock position, playing Protoss in white. And Best is probably one of the SKT1's best players right now, ironically enough. And Boxer is back with SKT1. Boxer is back and ready to jump in the ring. And I'm sure the moment he's got his game up to scratch, the moment he feels confident, he will be thrust into the ring. Will we see Boxer coming in today? Well, Best taking part might reduce the chances of that if he can run through this Samsung Khan lineup. And looks like Best has put his gateway down again, so he's not choosing to fast expand to start with anyway. Meanwhile, second Overlord out for the Zerg. Looks like he's gone for a 12 hatchery build. So this is going to be an interesting game, to say the least, between these two guys. This is being played on Coliseum, and apparently I've been told that Best has a very strong record on Coliseum. He's virtually unbeatable here. Not surprising that the coach would then send him out on this map. Also considering, and Shy fans, I gotta love the Shy Korean girl fans. They're just so fantastic. They're just. You just feel that they're just so classy. But anyway, so back to the game. Spawning pool now going down for the Zerg. Yeah, so Coliseum, as it is, slightly favors Protoss versus Zerg. And why not, considering that you do have those, just the structure of the map does make it just so much easier for Protoss to expand and defend that expansion, and allows the Protoss player to really put pressure on the Zerg player early on. Best put down the gateway, sending his Zealot down, and we'll just see if he's going to be able to harass the Zerg at all, because Zerg obviously has gone for a 12 hatch. That's probably why Best has put that gateway down first, hoping to get some harass in, knowing that Zergs are probably going to 12 hatch on a map like this. So not really a bad choice of strategy by Best. The Zealot is going to be coming in now. The floating Overlord has seen that Zealot coming in, so that should give Hades an idea of where Best's base is. And now Best is putting that Nexus down. So one gateway into Nexus by Best, and he's sending a second Zealot out as well. So it's just going to be a question of how good the Zerg's defense is going to be. He's going to have to bunch under the probe coming in as well with the Zealots, and the Best, and what it looks like one of the drones has gotten trapped, is almost going to get killed. He manages to pull the drone out just in time. He's got his spawning pool up, obviously, so those larvae, I presume, are 6 Zerglings, and the first 4 Zerglings pop out just in time. So far he hasn't taken any damage whatsoever to his economy, and this gamble might not be paying off for Best. Surely he would have been better off going for the Nexus first. He's surely going to be behind if he doesn't inflict significant economic damage. Now the Forge going down for Best with the 6 Zerglings out, and he loses the probe. He's managed to kill, I think, 1 Zergling, another couple of Zerglings popping out for the Zerg, for Hades. I'm still in previous game mode here, and now the Zealot managed to get a couple more hits on the drone. The drone again microed away by Hades. Hades doing a great job of microing his drones around these Zealots, and I still haven't seen a single drone kill from the Best. He loses his Zealot, the second Zealot's going to get trapped, and Hades got a significant number of Zerglings here, so Best is going to be forced to put a photon cannon down, and the fans in shock. SKT1's fans, I'm sure, not believing what their eyes are seeing, and the Best Gambit not paying off at all, not really inflicting any damage on the opponent, giving Hades a slight advantage early on in the game, because we know that when a Zerg 12 hatches, obviously it suits the Protoss to get that expansion down ASAP. Obviously the question for Hades Hades is going to be, since he hasn't gotten that early scout in, he's now sending a massive group of Zerglings in, but I'm sure the door is blocked. There's a Zealot there, Photon Cannon coming up. He's going to be forced to bring a probe in to block the path as well. That one Zealot is probably going to try, he's just going to try and hold off okay, he's got a second Zealot out as well, so he's going to be able to hold that comfortably against the Zerg. The Zerg obviously countering with the massive Zerglings that he produced, but he should be able to deny scouting and further scouting information to Best now, and it'll be interesting to see what sort of choice strategy the Zerg goes for. He's got to know, he's obviously put his third hatchery down, he's got to know, and he's already starting up his lair as well, so he's going to be ahead in terms of economy and probably tech as well, because the Best chose to go for that one gateway and inflicted no damage at all. All Hades did was microed his drones around a little bit, and you've got to say that the early advantages with Hades, but Best is the kind of player who has the caliber. We know he's got a great record on Coliseum, we know this map does favor Protoss players, and Best is the kind of player who has the caliber to still pull out the victory despite having a slight disadvantage at the start, and this is still very much anyone's game, folks, and it's going to be interesting to see how Best copes with this adversity, but you've got to give full credit to the Spire coming up now for the Zerg as well, and Best might find his defensive stretch a little bit thin. He's got the one Photon Cannon down, he's putting a Stargate down as well, and it's going to be a question of how much economic damage Hades is going to be able to inflict, or Bygrate is going to be able to inflict with his 3 hatchery build now, and really the 2 Zealots going in, not doing any damage with the probe. You've got to give a lot of credit to Hades. I'm not sure whether Best was just a little bit timid in his attack there, whether he didn't really commit himself, or whether it was just great drone micro from Hades followed up by great Zergling micro, and you've got to give him a lot of credit for the way he multitasked there in terms of his micro, just the way he was able to keep the Zerglings on the Zealots, not lose too many Zerglings in the process, and at the same time keep the pressure on. Now Best pushing out with about 5 Zealots. He's a master group of 5 Zealots pushing out, just wanting to take that expansion, I'm sure, to try and get that third Nexus down. He's got his Stargate up, got his pylon up as well. He doesn't want the Zerg camping at his... he doesn't want Hades camping outside his base. And looks like he's pushing out with the 5 Zealots. He wants to get some scouting information, probably maybe even inflict some economic damage, because he's going to be in trouble here, because those Zealots are going to get trapped by the Zerglings on both sides, and all of these 5 Zealots might go down. He's actually trapped. He's not going to be able to get out. He's going to lose all of his Zealots. 4 of the Zealots go down, and the 5th Zealot is going to go down as well. So the Best situation going from bad to worse, and the advantage is racking up for Hades, because now the Best has lost those 5 Zealots. I'm sure he would have been better off conserving. Well, I suppose he didn't really need to build 5 Zealots unless he was going to push out. Corsair now out for Best. Hades hasn't produced any Mutilates. It's going to be interesting to see if he produces a couple of Scourge first to take that Corsair down, but really Hades is in a very strong position now in this game. Best trying to push out, trying to clear the air, trying to clear the blockade that Hades was trying to set up with the Zerglings, and the Mutalists are now out, and Best with the one Corsair isn't going to be too much, and the Hades knows that, so he's going straight for Best's main to try and inflict some economic damage. He's got one Photon Cannon up at his... looks like Hades is actually going for the front door here, but I'm not sure if that's a great idea. I think it would have been better off trying to inflict some economic damage, but he's got Zerglings coming in as well. He's focusing on the Photon Cannon down. I think it would have been better focusing the Mutalists on the Zealots to help the Zerglings get through and then take the Photon Cannon down, but the front door is now broken. The Zerglings are through, and Best is in a little bit of trouble here. He's got his Corsair though, hammering with the Mutalists, and it looks like actually he might be okay, because most of the Zerglings have gotten taken down, but his front door is now coming under attack. There are no Photon Cannons in range. He's got a Dragoon out, however, and that Dragoon is obviously defended with the 2 Crosshairs and the Photon Cannon, so great decision by Best to get that Dragoon out, and that's going to allow him to hold. Otherwise he would have lost his front door. He would have lost the Forge, which would have been critical, as well as losing the pylon and the gateway, and that would have been a lot more mineral damage on him, considering what he's already lost. And I do feel that Hades has missed a trick there. He had to know that the front door was going to be defended, and he might have been a little bit better off going around the side, or going around the back, and trying to inflict some economic damage, considering that Best only had the one Corsair. He would have had difficulty against some good Mutamicro. But nevertheless, so I'm not sure how much the game is equalized, but Hades is still, I would say, slightly ahead in a decent position against Best. Best now with 2 Dragoons out and a couple of Corsairs, but Best very much landlocked into his base, and Hades allowed to grow at will and continue to ramp up his economic advantage. This might be a good time. Best obviously has got that robotics facility down. Looks like he's upgrading something in his cybernetics core as well. I'm not sure if that would be Dragoon range, or whether he would be looking to upgrade his air defense, considering he has put out a few Sairs, and meanwhile, Hades is going to take advantage of this opportunity where he's got Best boxed in, and really Best with a disadvantage, not even having an advantage of units on the ground. It's going to give Hades, and Hades has got air superiority here. He's got Mutalists as well as Scourges, and Best, unfortunately, despite having 3 Corsairs, is not able to venture out of his base at all. Looks like the robotic support bay is going down, so we might be seeing the Sierra Reaver combo come out from Best, really being his last hope in this game. Meanwhile, Hades has taken the advantage of this opportunity to set up an expansion at the 5 o'clock base. And really that's the right move. When you box the opponent in, it's not always the best idea to just try and barrel the door down. Sometimes you've just got to go and try and establish your economic advantage and play the longer game, play the patient game, especially on a map like Colosseum where it can be hard to break that Protoss defense. I think the Zerg is doing exactly the right thing by expanding his defenses, and both players just taking stock, taking a breath here for a moment, and Best has got to be questioning some of his decision making in this game. He didn't really inflict, maybe he underestimated Hades' gameplay skills, by Great's gameplay skills and micro skills. Citadel as well going down for Best, and now he's ramping up the mass gateway. He's finally getting his economy underway a little bit to be able to get some production out, but he is going to be